Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today, I'm going to be touching up on a particular mission that was unique and it was pretty exciting at first. And it consisted of destroying seized property, trademark violation property, anything to do with Department of Treasury, along with the customs element. So when we were actually asked to help, they gave us a quick rundown on what we needed to bring to this actual mission. So it consisted of some extra clothing, some personal hygiene, a couple of personal hygiene items, and a and some water. And remember, this was actually before. Uh, we used to have to buy gallons of water. There was no bottled water at the time. The only thing closer to a bottled water would be yeah, almost like a gallon of milk, but just water. So as we were getting together, we were given the actual time to carpool. I could say a carpool to the actual this facility. And before that, we would have to actually go through a quick refresh course on hazmat and just the typical, chemical combinations, what to look out for, what to report, and one of them criteria was if we found if we actually saw more than a torso, report it. If we saw any kind of limbs, don't bother, basically. So this facility was big, and coming from California, and you'll hear me complain about how California wants to actually wants to regulate a lot of regulations, for environmental, for health wise, for just to protect the environment and people, employees, right? But when we actually got to this actual facility out of state, we appreciated all the regulations, and we appreciated all these little things that make a difference when you're actually conducting such work. So as we were getting ready, we were given a very odd schedule. Odd schedule meaning middle of the night actually. So we had to prepare. So we actually had to go in gear. Mm, I don't want to use the word tactical, but we were issued a helmet. So as we got to our destination, we were driven to a what I can only describe as what they nicknamed the dungeon. And at this dungeon, there's actually the secure place for all evidence. Everything that needs to be destroyed is actually in this dungeon. So we get there, everything's already ready to rock and roll, and we are driving to this facility that has these huge incinerators. They're all not all going at the same time, but they rotate the actual usage. And this actual, let's say, structure. I guess it was more of structure because the actual there's only some minimal office space or communication room whatsoever. So the majority of these are just pipes and yeah, pipes basically. So they had this crane with the boom with the actual clock that would actually take up all the rubbish, the garbage from the bottom, from the actual floor, and they would scoop it up and they would actually take it up into the incinerators and just release it with gravity just taking its course into these huge burners. And they actually have these little windows that you can see the heat inside. And I mean, you could just red, red, red. I mean, it just totally, totally. And once in a while, something would pop off, different chemicals in there, but it was already confined in the actual space. And they had these actual good where they released the actual steam. It was all very well contained, but the actual smell of the rubbish, we had the respirators, we had very, very well protected, but they can only do so much. So you just have the smell, the taste of metal in your mouth, and just the soot, just from the raw rubbish. So when we actually started to unload our uh, our our boxes, they were all in boxes. Uh, we would use an elevator, just take it all the way up to the where we were actually chest high to these incinerators, and we were tasked with unloading the actual merchandise of the box into the actual incinerator. The box, so it wouldn't create that much rubbish, and we would actually finish faster because we had to actually physically see every single item go into, not just dump on top of the incinerator, actually go into the actual slot. So we threw the actual boxes down where the other rubbish was. So the boxes wouldn't create more rubbish to have to actually be compressed down. So it, I can tell you, it's very time consuming. And we would actually rotate in between every so many minutes. We would rotate to actually get a breather, pull security. Because don't forget, this is a truck full of contraband. And these, what I can only describe as the big yellow Penske trucks, the heavy duty ones, the large ones. And going through that city's traffic in the morning was also interesting in itself. I mean, they wouldn't let us. We were all in unidentified vehicles, so they just assumed that we were just some regular construction company or moving company, and we just wanted to actually cut in. You know what I mean? Because we took the most of the emergency lanes throughout our trip to the actual incinerator. So we actually rotated to get a breather, get a break, and also pull security at the same time by the truck. So towards the end, the elevator had a fault, and it wasn't usable. And we were almost we had about a little bit less than a quarter of the truck because there was a couple of trucks, so we already had empty one truck and it was like little less than one quarter full of the last truck. But still, we were actually dollying in these actual boxes. Now we can only dolly them in into the actual stairwell. And you talk about 5 flights of actual stairs. So just being that there was only so much contraband left, the threat level kind of dropped down. So we actually, as we were pulling security, we actually were actually helping the chain, and we just basically hand carried the last quarter of one truck up the actual stairs into the incinerator, and it was tedious. It was physical. It was dirty. It was smelly. It was not a good environment, and that's just how we uh, how we destroyed evidence. And that dungeon boy, we didn't get to go in there. Everything's already set up. The trucks are already loaded behind fenced door, of course, behind fenced facility. But I could imagine the security that goes in there and the accountability uh, for the fact that nothing should come up missing, and the person or the actual agency that actually ran that actual compound They were very, very professional. They did not joke around. They did not. They were there to entertain you. They were there for the job. They were blunt, and they were to themselves. And I don't blame them, you know. And I imagine that you can actually find some way to actually corrupt the system and take stuff from the actual vault. So that's just another quick mission on that we were actually asked to assist a few times. And hope you guys like and subscribe. Talk to you guys later.